Vivek Ramaswamy spent the past week deriding the first black woman elected to Congress in Massachusetts as a, quote, grand wizard of the modern KKK, end quote, suggesting that people of color would score higher on the SAT if it included a physical fitness component, and misspelling his Indian American opponent's name on his website. Ramaswamy, who is an Indian American, has been criticized for his repeated racist comments. But he keeps on repeating the racist comments, even as some critics say he's been, quote, dishonest, and speaking in, quote, bad faith, end quote. Quote, the shtick of his campaign is to sort of serve up this shield against claims that the Republican Party is racist, end quote, said Kaivan Shorf, a Democratic Indian American political commentator.
The greatest racism I have experienced racism, comes from the modern left at a scale unimaginable, because I think they feel a sense of betrayal, saying that you're not speaking in the tone that you're supposed to. You literally did. So Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, I believe not putting words in anybody else's mouth. I believe taking people at their own terms on their own words. Right? So I don't believe in straw men. Ayanna Pressley, she's in the Congress today. She's a member of the squad. Her words, not mine. We don't want any more black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't want any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. Literally word for word. I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouth. Ibram Kendi wrote the book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. I wrote Woke Inc. It was a pretty successful book. His sold more copies than mine. Here's what it says. Opening lines. The remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. The remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination. So the other side will gaslight you when you say this stuff. It's like, oh, you're just making that critical race theory stuff up. No. These aren't my words. These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK. Really. And that's really what this is about.
You took issue with comments from Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She reportedly said, quote, we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. About that, you said, these are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK. You know, I'm sure, the KKK was responsible for more than a century's worth of horrific lynchings, rapes, murders of black people. How in any way are the views you're talking about comparable to the views and atrocities committed by the KKK?
What I said is the grand wizards of the KKK would be proud of what they would hear her say, because there's nothing more racist than saying that your skin color predicts something about the content of your viewpoints
You didn't just say they would be proud. You said these are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK.
It is the same spirit. You're right about that, Dana. I think it is the same spirit to say that I can look at you and based on just your skin color, that I know something about the content of your character, that I know something about the content of the viewpoints you're allowed to express. For Ayanna Pressley to tell me that because of my skin color, I can't express my views, that is wrong. It is divisive. It is driving hate in this country.
Do you think Juneteenth is a useless holiday?
I basically do.
We will make Election Day a holiday in the United States of America, so there's no complaints about it. Cancel Juneteenth or one of the other useless ones we made up, okay? We can't have like everything be a holiday, but we'll cancel one of the other ones and make Election Day a holiday.
Well, look, I think what's not a good thing is putting people into positions that they're actually not qualified to have. What this actually should wake us up to is the reality of the failures of early education, K through 12 education, starting at a young age. That's evidence of the fact that many poor Americans, and black Americans do tend to be poorer than white Americans, for example, do not have access to good public education starting even in kindergarten or first grade. So the reality is, and by the way, I went to public schools through 8th grade. It was racially diverse, majority black or something close to it. There wasn't a single one of those black kids that could not have achieved everything that I have in my life. I've lived the American dream. I'm now running for U.S. president. If they had also been given the same privilege that I had, which was 2 parents in the house and a focus on education. There's a crisis of fatherlessness, not just in the black community, but across America, across multiple races. There's good evidence that people are more likely to end up in poverty, more likely to drop out of high school. Let's address the family structure. Let's deliver school choice. I think that's something that actually does give a lot of Americans, including it's lifted up a lot of black Americans. Right now, we're paying many single mothers more money not to have the man in the house than to have the man in the house. And affirmative action, as well as those policies, they were part of the same vision. From Lyndon Johnson, you want to blame a white man for this? He's a good one to start. Passed the Great Society legislation, affirmative action into the law, actually the payment programs that I'm talking about. So instead of actually giving incentives that run against family formation, let's instead at least remove those government incentives. And to your point, yes, is there going to be a trade-off in the short run that's all else equal regrettable? Yes, there is.